So I just had something happen to me, and or rather, should I say, maybe it was something I instigated that I wasn't aware I was instigating. And when you deal with all the forces I speak about here, this is what happens if you're not real careful. So it happened to be the same dear old friend of mine selling their wares, and I'm hanging out. I wasn't really hanging out, but this other man is there. I've only met him a few times, and he was actually very kind and gentle to me. The first time I met him, actually gave me some cannabis, and he seemed like a really oneness conscious, loving hippie kind of guy. Like, he fully had me convinced he was a gentle, loving hippie, and this is really the central key in why this is something we all have to go deeper into facing. Okay, so assuming that his soul essence or his real self is respectful, let's say, just use that word, respectful. So this is what happened. He's standing there eating some chicken in a box, and I guess I was, a little bit having a little bit of an anxious vibe with an empty stomach, and I kind of used up my energy on making those 4 videos, and I was debating on getting my horn out, and I brought my melodian and my amplifier to rock out with my friend, because actually both these guys are pretty good Jamaican music DJs. So this guy, I have the feeling he might be, getting assistance. He's got the one impression I had from him before, like there's no one around him, and he's totally content with the big backpack, and he's got his speaker on there. So the first thing he says is, I just want to listen to music, and so I'm like, well, I feel it from both sides. I got to honor he doesn't want to listen to me talk, and I don't want to start a fight, right? But again, it's very interesting that I felt that these entities somehow lodged into my friend growing up in the Bay Area, and is so deep into his personality, he won't even let himself watch these videos at all, and he still has these people come around him and try to dominate his energy. And he's a really good natured guy, but again, it's subconscious. Okay, so I had to pee. I went and peed and came back, and I just decided I was trying to be peaceful and quiet. And he finally says, "Well, look, I just think you talk too much." And I said, "A lot of people think I talk too much, but I'm not trying to offend any of them." But the thing I did that really pissed him off. Now, this is really interesting if you go to my theory about possession, okay? So I started getting creative and rapping along with the beat, making up a rhyme as to why it was inappropriate for him not to tell me not to speak, and using my creativity and my charm to explain to him why it was inappropriate for him to tell me not to speak, and I also was rhyming about how if I was being dominating and messing with my friend's jewelry sales, I was being inappropriate, and that I should. So when I got done, he kind of walked up to me and he said, "Look, just back off. You're up in my space, and I told you I don't want you to hear you talk." And I kept saying, I have nothing against you, brother, and I wish you would be more like the guy you were when I first met you. And then he basically said he wanted to punch me or whatever. So I did back off, and I said peace and left. So I certainly feel this is somehow my karma for making all the videos about this subject. But what's really interesting about this is that it exemplifies what I've been saying in all my videos about this subject. And unlike the people around me here, this guy fully had me and many others convinced he's this gentle, loving, respectful person until it went over the line, and then all of a sudden, it's like he's gonna punch me. Okay, so my question for the audience, my question for myself, and hopefully for this person is, if they ever get the courage to face the question, is that violent person really you? And also, I want to say to my friend who was holding the space, the time when you said you have to punch out this man who was begging him for money or demanding to give him weed. This guy that you said that you have to punch out, who holds the sign begging money for food. Is this not the same exact principle? And I really would like to beg both of these guys, but I know it's inappropriate. But on a soul level, I ask everyone that hears me and everyone involved, can you not see how, on some level, this is projection? And that was the last thing I said to the man as I left to come over here, since it was obvious the universe wanted me to work in this way. And again, I say to my audience and to everyone in this room, this is why I do not even try to speak to you very much, because I don't want to offend you. I don't want to offend your demons. I'm not here to confront. I'm not here to be abused by the Santa Cruz curse, the Babylon black magic money curse. I'm not here to offend anyone. I'm here to bring the light of the truth, to bring the clear presence of the Most High into all situations and into our psychology as much as possible. I'm here to bring the Christ consciousness. I'm not here to fight. I'm not here to cause quarreling. I'm not here to feed the fake pestilence program that is still, and even more so with the inoculating colonies into the bodies, trying to get between us all. Stay 666. Hell no. And obviously, is that not the reason why he wanted to punch me? Because he wasn't willing to do that work. And over the course of hearing me for several days now, hanging out with this friend in the same space in the tiny little 4 magic cube gold squares where you're allowed to make money, was it not because of spending, several times an hour a day before yesterday and today holding his tongue? You see, the entities cannot, the astral parasites, they can't handle it when you point out their existence. And again, I have to say, I mean no disrespect to anyone. I mean to remove these demons if at all possible. And I mean if at all possible, because these people may carry this personality trait to their death. But again, I challenge them with this idea to their face directly and electronically to the whole planet. Is it really you? Or are you not the original respectful being who you were before this parasite convinced you that you have to be violent? Give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and let's get more serious about healing this. And of course, I have to practice what I preach in the psychological, personal level of 3D reality and get more clear on this so that I don't attract these situations again, because the exterior always reflects the interior. And as I told that man before I rode off, you need to learn, I think you need to learn what the psychological term projection means, because I think that's what you're doing right now. Have a great afternoon.